Hey, how's it going? Nick, Digilio here, and this is just a quick video because I'm really pissed off right now and sad, and this is the reason why. We're going through another spike in COVID, with Omicron being the latest variant that is making the rounds, and because of this, events are being canceled. Large gatherings are discouraged. Some businesses are being shut down. At the beginning of January, every inside business in Cook County is going to require people who show up to have their vaccination cards or proof of vaccination or negative COVID tests to get in. And they have to be masked up. And all of this makes sense to me. It all totally makes sense to me. On upcoming, there's an event with AAW Wrestling here, a local, a great wrestling organization that I know the people who run it. And they have an event coming up on December 30th. That would be a week from tonight at the Logan Square Auditorium in Logan Square. And it's a really cool event. All of the AAW wrestling events are great. They're big, they're great. They bring in talented wrestlers. It's a great organization, and they put on great shows. This particular show, I was very excited about because one of my favorite wrestlers, Ruby Soho from AEW, she used to be Ruby Riott from WWE and who used to work with AAW, one of my favorite wrestlers. I love her. I absolutely have a massive crush on her, and I think she's great. And I was looking forward to going to see this show live at the Logan Square Auditorium. And it's still happening. I want to make sure that people know that it is happening. And because of the people that I know at AAW, I was going to go backstage, operative word, I was going to go backstage and get to meet Ruby, get a picture with her and hang out with her, and then have this great seat to see the event. I chose not to go. The show is still happening, and I'm sure, and I know that AAW is taking every precaution and every safety precaution that there is to take to make sure that the event is safe for everyone, to make sure that everyone is masked up, and to make sure that it's a fun, great, crowd-filled night with great wrestling and great, wrestlers, including Ruby. And I'm sure that it'll be a safe event for everybody to go to. And the reason I chose to not go is because I see my parents every weekend. I go over to their house and hang out with them on Friday and Saturday nights, and then go home on Sunday morning. So I do that every week. I hang out with them, cook for them, and hang out with them and spend a lot of time with them and make sure everything is cool with them. They're self-sufficient. They're awesome. But the thing is, my dad is in his 80s. My dad is 80 now. My mother is in her late 70s. My dad has a heart condition, is 80 years old. My mother has diabetes and is in her late 70s. These are people who are high risk for COVID. These are the people that don't need to possibly get infected or to be exposed to COVID, to Omicron or any other variant that there is. I don't want them to get sick. My father works 4 or 5 nights a week at Jewel, and he has for years, and he goes in masked up, gloved up completely so that he can work. He loves to work. He loves to interact with people, and he loves to earn the extra money, and it helps out around the house, and it's something that he loves to do, and he takes every precaution. They give him a temperature check every single time he comes in, and he feels fine, and he keeps going to work, which is cool. And whenever my parents go out, they mask up, they glove up, they do everything that they're supposed to do. They take every precaution that you're supposed to take. They are both fully vaxxed and boosted, as am I, because I'm not a fucking idiot. I am fully vaxxed and boosted. And whenever I go to a movie, I mask up and I keep socially distant from people as much as I can. If I can, I will sit in a seat that is 6 feet away from somebody else when I go to a movie by myself. And I don't go out to bars or do any of that kind of stuff. But this event, this wrestling event, would require me to, I would be masked up, as everybody in the auditorium I would imagine will be and should be, but I would take risk being in lines and being around a crowd of people, and I don't want to take the risk of getting the COVID and bringing it to my parents, who are people who are at risk. people who are elderly, who have pre-existing conditions. And I don't want to be non-systematic, which, symptomatic, and not know it, and then, go over there on the weekend that I go over to help out with my parents around their house and hang out and eat and cook and hang out with the folks like I normally do. And then I don't want to be, the one that brings COVID into their home and they get sick because of their pre-existing conditions and because of their age. So I decided to cancel this to go to this event. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. I love Ruby Soho. If you're a wrestling fan, you know how fucking cool Ruby Soho is. And if you're a wrestling fan who's had the chance to meet her, as I've been told even by my AAW buddies who run AAW, that she's incredibly nice and really great with the fans and is great to take pictures with and talk to and hang out with. And literally one of my favorite wrestlers working today. And I'm not going to go. Now, if I didn't see my parents on a regular basis, if I were just living alone, I would go. I would go and I would mask up and do all the things I need to do to make sure that everything was okay. But I don't want to risk it, and so I'm not going to go to this event. Now I know that this is a trivial matter to a lot of people out there in the world, that like, oh, Nick doesn't get to go to a wrestling event, and Nick doesn't get to meet a wrestler, a woman wrestler that he really likes. And I know that this is trivial to a lot of people. A lot of people have it worse out there. A lot of people who have gone through COVID or are going through it now have it a lot worse than I do right now by missing out on an event that I wanted to go to. But the point is that I shouldn't have to do this. The point is that I shouldn't have to cancel going to this event so that I don't get my parents sick, so that my elderly parents who have pre-existing conditions don't get sick because of me possibly not knowing that I have it and bring it into their apartment. I could go get tested and all of that stuff, but the point is I don't want to risk it, even if that, like if I get tested and I'm positive, that means I have to quarantine myself and do whatever I need to do to get over it, and then make sure I'm okay to go back and see my parents again. That's a complication and a bunch of bullshit and a hassle that I don't want to go through. So I'm not going to go to this event. So I'm massively disappointed. I'm really pissed off. And I would just like to say to the people out there who are anti-vax, who refuse to get the shot, refuse to get masked, the reason why this fucking shit is happening is because of you. You're a selfish asshole. You are all selfish assholes. Oh, I don't want to get the shot because of the government. I don't want to get the shot because it takes away my freedom. Fuck you. Okay? There's my Christmas message to you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Okay? And as my friend Kathy O'Malley said, fuck you and the orange horse you rode in on. All right? So, yeah, it's a trivial thing. Oh, I don't get to go to a wrestling show. God forbid. I don't get to meet Ruby Soho. God forbid. But you know what? I don't want my parents to get sick. And if there's the slightest chance that my parents would get exposed to this unnecessarily and become sick because of me, because of something that I did, it would be horrible. So in order for that not to happen, I'm not going to this event. And because I'm not going to this event, I would just like to say, again, to you anti-vaxxers, to you people who refuse to get the shot, to you people who won't wear a mask, to you people who won't help out, the reason why we're in the place that we're in right now is because of your selfish ass. That's why. That's why. The reason why businesses are going to close down again and restaurants have to go through more hassle than they need to. Events are being closed. Events are being canceled. Holiday events are being canceled. Big gatherings are looked down upon. The reason why we're going through this again is because of your fucking selfish asses. That's why. So, don't get your shot. Fine. That's great. That's, you want to be a selfish, complete prick. Fine. And I wish you the unmerriest of goddamn Christmases. So anyway, just that's all I wanted to say. I'm pissed off, and any chance that I have to try to make sure that my parents don't get sick because of this goddamn COVID, I'm going to take that and make sure that they don't get sick. Whatever I have to do is to make sure that my parents don't get sick, because I see them every weekend, and I don't want those visits to my parents' house to be the reason why my parents get sick. Okay? So, I mean, I'm sure that, I could be, non-symptomatic. I'm fully vaxxed. I wear the mask. I have the booster. So, if I get COVID, I'm sure that it would probably not be a huge deal. I'd probably feel like shit. But to risk it around my folks, I won't do that. So, Anyway, and I know that a lot of people are probably going through similar things, and I know that there are bigger problems in the world, but personally this was bugging me, and I don't get to go to this show next week. I don't get to meet Ruby Soho, and I know that that's trivial to most people, but most importantly, I don't want to get my parents sick. I don't want them to be sick, and I care about them. Unlike you fuckers who don't care about anybody but yourselves, who won't get vaxxed and who won't wear the mask. You're selfish assholes. You are selfish assholes, and the reason we're in this mess is because of you. Fuck you.